then opt title at the opt time. So now you know well that there is a vast increase in the uh, technology which grows in a rapid speed. That too, particularly in the CSE and IT domain, we can see that a lot of different vertical specializations are growing day by day. We have AI, ML, and IoT, cyber security, data science, and lot of technologies we are facing. It is growing like anything. So it is the order of the day that the engineering graduates belong to such domain should have a wide knowledge among about all the aspects. They need to have a depth knowledge also. So test lectures like this will bring a expert talk which gives you information and the latest technology whatever is prevailing. So be interactive with the both of them. It's a blended guest lecture with experienced academia and industry. So you will have a very good experience. So try to interact with them, gather more information, and try to implement those expertise in your projects and academics. With this, I congratulate the Department of CSC and I thank Dr. Sudhakaran and also Deepthi for accepting our invitation and for spending their valuable time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I call upon Roshni from third year CSC to introduce the guest speakers.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I feel honored in introducing our guest speaker, Dr. T. Sudhakar Sir, Associate Professor, VIT-AP University, Amaravati, Andhra Pradesh, and Ms. R.G. Deepthi, Junior AI Engineer, Object Automation, Chennai. First, let me introduce Dr. T. Sudhakar sir. He completed his BE and ME degrees in Computer Science and Engineering discipline. He received his PhD degree from Anna University, Chennai. He is currently working as Associate Professor, School of Computer Science and Engineering, VIT-AP University, Amaravati, Andhra Pradesh. He has 17 years of teaching experience and 8 years of research experience. He has published research articles in various reputed international journals and conferences. His research interests include cryptography, network security, design of security protocols, algorithms, and cybersecurity. Now, I would like to introduce Ms. R.G. Deepthi ma'am to the gathering. She completed her aerospace engineering degree in Karunya Institute of Technology, Coimbatore. She is currently working as Junior AI Engineer and Object Automation, Chennai. She is familiar with AI cybersecurity with the hardware of drones and also interested in adding new skills to her repertoire. She is proficient in aerodynamic simulations and gas dynamics. I'm indeed happy to welcome our guest speakers, Dr. T. Sudhakar sir and Ms. Archie Deepthi ma'am to our gathering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Now I hand over the session to our guest speakers. Over to you, Saran ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So let me start first session. Let me share the screen. Please wait. I'm not able to share. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So myself, Dr. T. Sudhakar. Just I'm going to give you the overview of cyber security. So in overview, we can give lot of content, but some important contents I will give you about the cyber security. So let us start with the cyber security definition. Okay, so what is the cyber security? Cyber security is the practice of defending computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data from malicious attacks. So we can see from the definition, so protecting our data, our servers, networks, all electronic systems, all these things, cyber security. Therefore, protecting your network, protecting your computer, that means system security. Protecting network is network security. Protecting code, it is a software security. Protecting your data, that is from our from cryptographic techniques. Okay, so protecting web, for example, web application, you are developing a web application, then you are protecting your web application, that is web security. So all these security comes under cyber security. Okay, so cyber security is just a practice of protecting our data, electronic systems, networks, and so on. So that is the cyber security. So what is the against cyber security? The against cyber security is the hacking. So this is the opposite definition for cyber security, because this is this hacking is getting unauthorized access to our data or network or system. Okay, so the act of compromising digital devices and networks through unauthorized access to an account or computer system. So that is hacking. Okay, so the hacking is the oppose of cyber security. But nowadays, in digital era, the hacking comes in different forms. So a lot of zero day attacks. Zero-day attacks means you can you heard about this word zero-day attacks? Already there are well-known attacks. So we have solution to those well-known attacks. 0 days attacks means new attacks. So there is no solutions, but there are security engineers, cyber security experts, professionals are there to find a solutions immediately whenever the new attacks comes in our network or entire computer internet. Okay, so for the 0 days attacks is lot of 0 days attacks are coming. So we have to be very careful and using our systems, our software, our hardware, everything. So we need to design our software, either software or hardware, in order to make our system very secure, even our data. The types of hackers, there are different types of hackers based on their capability. We can based on their capability and the functionality, we can divide or classify the hackers. Okay, blockhead hackers, actually they are individual hackers or individual persons. They have some extraordinary computing skills, and they have some extraordinary resources. Okay, computing skills and extraordinary resources to to do some destructive activities or to hack our systems, to have the unauthorized access to our systems. Then gray hat acts, the next one is actually white hat. White hat, actually they are the legal hackers or ethical hackers. Legal hackers means are ethical hackers for a organization. You are running an organization to do some security testing or to do some security analysis, or getting the permission from the organization. We will do some hacking process, and we will find some vulnerabilities. For those vulnerabilities, the white hat hackers will give you the solutions. Okay, so the white hat hackers will be a ethical hackers. They will do both hacking and giving solutions. They will give countermeasures also. Okay, so those kind of hackers are called the white hat hackers. The gray hat hackers, actually they work both offensively and defensively. So gray hat hackers means they will perform sometimes like a black hat hackers. They will act as a white hat hackers and so on. Okay, so there are these are the very frontline hacker types. There are other types are the some unimportant hackers, suicide hackers, then script kiddie and so on. Suppose if you want to know the hacking process or hacking phases, first these 5 steps you need to know. Information gathering. For example, if you want to hack a system or a network, the first step you need to do is information gathering. For example, in victims systems information, IP address, port number, and other information about your victim system. So collecting all the information is actually information gathering. Then vulnerability analysis, what kind of flaws or security weaknesses in your victim system has. So that is the vulnerability analysis. Some deep vulnerability analysis, then creating a payload weapon. That means we will create some attacking code and attacking data. That is actually in cyber security terms, it is called creating a payload or simply payload. Okay, using that payload or created code, if you are exploiting that vulnerability, that weakness, then it is called attack. So these are the 5 steps in hacking phases. Okay, but you should, for a student, if you want to become a expert in cyber security, you should know both how to hack. That means how all these process. For example, what are the tools for information gathering are there available? So you have to search at tools for information gathering. At least 1 or 2 tools you should know to information gathering. Okay, at least 1 or 2 tools you should know about the vulnerability analysis. There are tools. Otherwise, if you install the Kali Linux, you know the Kali Linux operating system. If you know the if you install Kali Linux operating system, then you can have inbuilt cyber security tools. Inbuilt cyber security tools in Kali Linux itself. Okay, and then a lot of YouTube videos and lectures are in the web. Okay, you can study those tools. Okay, so whenever you study theory, you try to implement that concept using some tools available. There are many open source tools. Open source tools are there. Okay, you can use one of those tools to explore your that attack. Normally you will be getting some theory information, but you have to try to implement. Then only you can get the clear-cut idea, the deep idea about that hacking process. Okay, so if you want to get a cyber security professional or cyber security expert, okay, so these steps you should practice some tools, at least 1 or 2 tools for each phase. Okay, and information gathering, as I told, it means gathering different kind of information about the target. The tools used for this information gathering for a victim, Nmap tool is there, Zenmap tool. Nmap directly you can, if you have Ubuntu operating system or Kali Linux, it is already installed. It is by default inbuilt tool for the Unix or Linux operating systems. Zenmap is kind of Nmap tool with the graphical user interface. Then VS lookup tool, NS lookup tool, IP lookup tool, deploy tool, trace route, dig, there are more tools for information gathering. Just I will give you the names of the tools and this overview. Okay, you have to explore. Then vulnerability analysis. So it is the second step of the hacking process. So it is the process of identifying vulnerabilities in the computer systems or networks and the communication channels. Okay, so the specific failure of the control is called a vulnerability or security flaw. In a specific failure of the control, for example, you have the access control of a particular operating system. Suppose or file is protected with a password. Okay, so suppose without a password, one can, suppose the attacker can able to open that file. That is the flaw or that is the vulnerability. Okay, so the specific failure of the control is called the vulnerability or security flaw. So there are many tools. For example, you have developed a website. Okay, you have developed a website, or otherwise you can check the security of the other websites. Okay, whether the website is more secure or not based on the the vulnerability analysis tools. I have listed some vulnerability analysis tools. You can work out 1 or 2 tools. So Legion tools, Nikto tools, even Nmap also used for vulnerability analysis. Then Nessus tools. So these tools are useful for vulnerability analysis. So the first step is information gathering. You have to gather as much as possible information about the victim. Then vulnerability analysis using these kind of tools. Again, just I listed the vulnerability analysis tools. Okay. So then the third step or fourth step, you have to create a payload. For payload, I will explain with web security or SQL injection attack. What is that? How to create a payload for particular attack. Okay. Now I am coming to in another direction. That is, I think some just the overview, high level overview of ethical process is enough. I think that is that 5 steps: information gathering, vulnerability analysis, and creating a payload and exploiting. The creating payload and exploiting I will explain with one simple demo. Before that, cyber security means already we discussed as with the definition. That is code security, software security, network security, web security, hardware security, all comes under data security, all comes under cyber security. One example I will explain for each category. Software security, there are some vulnerability. Example vulnerabilities are buffer overflow, format string vulnerabilities, integer overflow. Okay, so I will explain buffer overflow vulnerability. Okay, so just the overview of buffer overflow vulnerability. You know the memory layout of a memory layout structure or concept while running the C programming. Consider the C programming, for example, this C programming function. It takes 2 arguments, integer A and integer B. There are 2 local variables X and Y. Okay, so we know that whenever we call the function, for the function, a stack frame or some memory, a memory is created for that function. The function calls implemented using stack. This will be stored in the stack memory area. We know that in memory, stack area, heap area, then code segment, data area, there are some areas in our memory. Okay, so particularly in stack, the function, whenever you call the function, that local variables, arguments, everything will be stored in that stack frame. For this function, whenever you call this function, this kind of stack frame will be created, and variables are stored in this way. For example, there is a base address. It is this is called frame pointer. The base address, it is called frame pointer. Based on this frame pointer, the values are stored. Okay, so for example, this value A and value B, this argument A and argument B are stored here, and the local variable X and Y stored here. So this is a simple example how the local variables and arguments are stored in a function whenever you call a function in stack memory area. So these are local variables, these are arguments. So you can see the return address. So whenever the function returns, okay, so then it sees the return address, then that control goes to a particular return address. So that's why the return address is also stored after the base pointer. Based on this base pointer only, just I am giving a high level overview only. Based on the base pointer, these values are obtained. The locations of these values are obtained. See one example, buffer overflow example. If there is a function called foo, okay, here buffer means simply a array or memory location. Okay, so buffer of size 12. Okay, so here then there is a string copy. So the string is copied to this buffer. Okay, so this string input is from the main function. We are calling this foo function from main function. Okay, passing the string. The string contains the text. This is definitely longer than 12. Okay, so buffer size is 12. Only buffer size is 12, but we are passing this string more than 12 characters. Okay, so what will happen then? We are passing this string as more characters than 12 characters. Okay, So while copying this string copy, while using this string copy strcpy buffer comma string, the string in this str variable will be copied to this buffer, but buffer size is only 12. But our string contains more than 12 characters. So this situation is called the buffer overflow. So what will happen actually buffer overflow? See, so here if it is a buffer overflow, then arrays are indexed from 0 to the maximum size -1. Okay, so 0 to 12 means 0 to 11. The remaining characters also will be copied. There is no restriction in strcpy kind of functions. Okay, it will copy, even it will it will copy the letters beyond the buffer size. Okay, buffer size actually is from 0 to 11, 12 size. After that also it will copy. So suppose it will rewrite the return address, then whenever the function returns that return address is not valid address, then program will be crashed. Okay, so this is a simple attack on buffer overflow. Okay, so this is example for a software attacks. There are many software flaws, software errors leads to very big impact on industries. Okay, this is one small software attack example. Okay, I think you have understood this. A buffer overflow, whenever we copy data more than memory size, it will sometimes rewrite the return address. So our rewritten data is not a valid machine instruction or valid machine instruction or valid address, then the program will be crashed. Okay, so this is a simple example for software attack. The consequence I told already. Then I will show you the simple example for SQL injection attack. This web security. In web security, there are many forms of web security. The very famous web security attacks are SQL injection attack, cross-site scripting attack, cross-site request forgery attack. For each attack, for example, if you have software, if you work with software attack or web security or network security, particularly if you work with network security, you need to know the each and every the aspects of network protocols. For example, if you take TCP or TCP IP or ARP protocols. Similarly, if you take web security, in order to find flaws in web or web, you are developing a web application. Okay, you are developing a web application. You whether your web application is secure web application or not. In order to know that, you should know all the aspects of web security, or how the web is working, how HTTP request is going, how HTTP response is coming, and how this what is the format of HTTP request message, what is the format of HTTP response message, what are the contents. So all those things deeply you need to know. Okay, then only you can understand the web security flaws. And also coming to SQL injection attack, SQL, you know that it is for structured query language for querying a database. Okay, therefore you should know the SQL concepts very clearly and how the SQL queries are working on database. So that is also known to students. Okay, so I am going to discuss this SQL injection as an example for our web security. First, we need to know how to interact, or the interaction with the database and web application. See, the browser, we know that it is a client. Web client is a browser or user. Then web application server, either Apache server or Tomcat server. You can use any web application server. Then database. So web browser and web application server will communicate through this HTTP request and HTTP response. So whenever the HTTP request is given, suppose any query, any data is related to this web application or request, that query is issued to this database server, then the database server will give you the result. That result is redirected to this user, that will be displayed in our browser, web client. So this is the interaction between browser, that is web client, and web server and database. So consider a small web application. You assume that your web application contains any web application. For example, if you go to the banking application, definitely we have the first web page as a login form. We have to give the login and password password. Then only we can able to go into the particular banking application. Okay, so the first step is authentication. Your username and password should be correct. Then only you will be authenticated and you are allowed to enter into the particular website, for example, banking application. So assume that you have developed one web application. That web application contains the first page as a login form, like this: employee ID and password, employee ID and password, one submit button. See, in the server side, this is the code for getting the ID and the password. So you no need to get go in depth. Just we are getting this ID and password. This is the interaction with the web application, interaction with the database. The connection code is actually, this code is actually a PHP code. Just I'm explaining the code quickly. Important part only. The connection is simply, this connection line is for connecting the database and web application. Then we are issuing, whenever we enter our username and password in our form, in the server side, this query will be executed. This query will be executed. For example, what is the query? For example, this is the query we are writing in the server side for our web application. Okay. So whenever you give the username and password in our form in the web client, in the server side, this query will be executed. For example, select name, salary, SSN from employee, where employee ID equal to employee EID and password equal to password. So this employee ID is our employee ID, whatever we entered. Okay. So then this EID and password equal to what our entered password. This EID and password will be from table. Already we the table will be created for registered users. There the username and password will be there. The correct username and password will be checked with the database table. Then if it is correct, both username and password, then you are allowed to, or you will be you are allowed, you are authenticated, you will be allowed to enter the website. Okay, so this is the process of after successful query completion. Okay. So one important aspect is that the as symbol is actually the command line in SQL statements. For example, MySQL, if you take Oracle or MySQL, the MySQL, this as symbol is actually, the hash symbol is actually the command line. Okay, so we are going to use that hash symbol in our attack. Okay, so whenever you give the value, that values will be between these two single quotes. This is the part of the code. This is the part of the code. So your ID will be placed here. Your password will be placed here. Okay, so look at this. This single quotes is in the code. Okay, you are whatever you are entering username and password, that will be placed here. Okay, suppose if you don't know the password, you know the username alone. Okay. For example, you are attacking somewhere's website. You are giving the username correctly. Okay, but followed by you are giving this as symbol, followed by, for example, you in your in this ID, you are entering the ID as EID 5002, EID 5002 single quotes as if you are giving as also, then what will be the query? The query will become like this, because after this as symbol, everything will be a command line. This password part will be ignored. It will not be executed by the SQL compiler or interpreter. Okay, because after this as symbol, it will become a command line. Okay, so therefore it takes only the user ID. If user ID is correct, then your query will be correct. Once the query will be true, then you are allowed to access the data, or you are authenticated to enter in the website. So that is a simple attack. Or otherwise, suppose you don't know both username and password. Okay, both username and password. So you can enter this payload. See, I explained. Sorry, I mentioned one word, payload. Creating a payload. No. So this is the payload we are creating for SQL injection attack. Okay, so the whatever data or code we are creating for our attack purpose, no, that is called payload. Okay, in the SQL injection attack, we are creating this slash, that is a single quotes or 1 equal to 1. This 1 equal to 1 is always true. Okay, so therefore this entire condition is true. We know that OR operation, one of the input is true, then entire operation is true. Therefore this entire operation is true. Therefore the query will be true. Okay, just I will show you the demo, then you can understand easily. Okay, so that XAMPP server tool is needed. I am just starting the XAMPP server. Meanwhile, we'll discuss the countermeasure. I will show you the demo, or at the end of the session, I will show the demo. So there are countermeasures for SQL injection attack also. That is called prepared statement. If you are using Java server pages as a server program, or PHP code as a server program, okay, the prepared statement concept is there. Okay, so in the prepared statement concept, actually, what is the drawback of this SQL injection? What is the reason for SQL injection? The reason for SQL injection attack is the combining the code and the data. Code and the data. That means whenever we give the data, for example, as symbol, that is also part of the code in our SQL query. Okay, so we are mingling our code and the data. That's why that is the reason for this SQL injection attack. Here, the prepared statement means we are preparing a query without assigning the values. Simply we are giving some placeholders, question marks. Okay, this query will be executed without our user data first, or compiled. Okay, then only the values are binded. Okay, suppose if even if you are giving a wrong data also, this query will be compiled correctly, then only it takes the data as in the data. Okay, so therefore the code is separate, data is separate. So code is sent to separate channel and data is sent to separate channel. So there is a separation of data and code. Then we are binding the result and we are fetching the result and printing. Okay, so this is the actually prepared. This is called the prepared statement. So this prepared statement is working well. This is a very good solution for SQL injection attacks. Okay, so it is very easy attack. You can explore this attack, or otherwise you can practice this attack. Simply you have to create one web application. You need to know to write a HTML code and PHP code, and how to connect HTML code to a PHP code with and data. How to connect a MySQL database. Okay, so the very simple code. Then you use this payload and you run the program, you run the client. Then you come to know without correct password, you can skip the login, you can get the authentication. So that is the SQL injection. Simple attack you can practice. Then only you can understand the security of a particular web application. So whenever you are creating a website, okay, you should have a secure website. Okay, even for there is a burp suite tool. If you send data from client to a server or HTTP request, completely it is intercepted. Okay, suppose your username and password is not encrypted, then that will be intercepted by that burp suite tool. Then the attacker can easily know your username and password. So that is also possible. Therefore, whenever we create a web application, okay, for login form, the authentication username and password should be encrypted. Coming to the network security, so next type is network. There are a lot of attacks in network security also. The snipping and spoofing attacks are very basic attacks. There are attacks on TCP protocols, for example, SYN flooding, that is denial of service attacks. Attacks on ARP protocols, ARP spoofing, that is also a kind of denial of service attacks. The ping of death attacks. There are solutions for networks, firewalls, IDS, and virtual private networks. Virtual private networks. A particular channel is completely encrypted. A particular channel is completely encrypted. That way we can give the security. IDS is intrusion detection system based on the signatures. Firewalls, we know that we can implement firewalls as a software or a hardware. We have to write a set of rules. Once the particular incoming packet to our network is passing the rules, then only that packet is allowed inside the network. So that, see, you can write firewalls. There are tools. You can work with firewall tools. IP tables. There is a tool called IP tables. See, in order to understand how to write a firewall rules, for example, in order to countermeasure the TCP protocols attacks, the attacks related to TCP protocols, in order to countermeasure the TCP protocol attacks, you are writing a firewall rules. So, to writing a firewall rules for TCP protocol attacks, you have to very deep, you have to have very deep knowledge about this TCP protocols. That is the TCP segment. What are the contents in the TCP segment, how TCP protocol works, what are the flags are there, how the TCP connection is established. All these internals should be known to you. Then only you can write the firewall rules for protecting the TCP related attacks. So everything in, if you want to work with this cyber security, for example, if you want to work with you can choose either web security or software security or network security, any one domain with any one subdomain within the cyber security. But you have to read very thoroughly. You have to know the complete tools, at least one or two tools for each attacks. You have to explore. You need to understand the basic concepts. Then only you will become a cyber security professional or cyber security experts. There are a lot of jobs related to cyber security: security analyst, penetration testing, security engineers, administrative office, security chief officer. There are a lot of job opportunities with very good salaries. So coming to the network security, snipping and spoofing are the very basic attacks. We know that snipping is simply the intercepting the packets, and spoofing. So attackers can send out packets under the false identity. That is the spoofing attack with others' identity or others' source IP address. So the packets are sent. Okay, that is called spoofing. These are the two basic attacks. They are the cause for many other attacks on the internet. So the simple attack model in network, see, this sender and receiver, this insecure channel. Insecure channel is actually our internet. In between, you or attacker can intercept any message communicated between these two entities. Okay, so there are sophisticated tools for intercepting, that is snipping. Okay, one such a tool is Wireshark. This Wireshark tool is just intercepting. This is actually protocol analyzer. We can use this tool as a protocol analyzer also, but for our security purpose, we can use this Wireshark tool as a snipping protocol. Just I will show you the demo, then you can understand how the information communicated between two entities is snipped. before going to web application attack, I will show you the this is the Wireshark tool, network analyzer. This is the Wireshark tool. Just I already created one client server application, a client server application in UDP client server application in Python. Just I will open that. Just I am going to run the both client and server program in the local machine only. So that's why we can easily capture client. These are the two. These are the client and server application in UDP. UDP client and server application using Python. It's very easy code only. Just I will open. Just I will open two command prompts. One is for client. Okay. So I am opening one more command prompt. This is for server. First, I will run the server. So to run the Python programming, we have to write the Python interpreter Python. File name is actually I have saved as a plain server. Dot. See, this is the server program. It is listening the messages from the client. Okay, this is the okay. Now you can see simply the code of the server. See, this program is listening a port number 8080. Okay, just listening the incoming packets with the 8080 in server program. In client program, we are sending the packet with a 8080 port. Okay, both client and server are running in the local host. That local host interface is identified by this 127.0.0.1. It is the local IP address or local host to indicate a local host. Both client and server is running in the local host interface, dummy interface. Okay, so therefore in the Wireshark analyzer tool, just I am selecting this loopback address adapter for the loopback traffic capture. Okay, this loopback adapter means it is the local host, that is 127.0.0.1. So I am choosing this interface and I am start capturing. Already our server is expecting messages. Now I am start capturing the packet through this Wireshark tool. Just I gave start. Okay, now I am opening a client program. Just I am running the client program. Python client. See, client is here I am giving some data in client side. Enter some message. Enter message to send or type exit. For example, I am welcome to cyber security. Okay, so this is the message I am entering. Now I am entering the exit. For example, now see the client and server application is terminated. Okay, now I am going to stop the capturing the project in the packets in the Wireshark tool. I am stopping the capturing process. Just I am stopped. Okay, So I have created client server application in using UDP. Okay, so you can search through this UDP packet, or otherwise, see this. There are two UDP packets. You can see source IP address, destination IP address. Okay, just click this address. Click. I am clicking this this message capture or this packet captured from this Wireshark tool. See, source IP address, destination IP address, everything. UDP packet. So in this way, I am clicking this UDP. See, this is the this all protocol information will be displayed. For example, internet protocol version, source IP address, destination IP address, user datagram, UDP protocol, source port, destination port. You see this. This is the data in hexadecimal dump, and also you can carefully see whatever message we sent. Welcome to cyber security lecture. This is the text we sent from client to a server. See how this snipping tool snips our or intercepts the or captures the message is message communicated between the client and server application. Okay, so this is the very sophisticated tool to capture the message communicated between the client and server. Then what is the solution? What we have to do? You are running a client and server application. There are attackers have this kind of sophisticated tool for intercepting or capturing the packet. If you are sending like this, the message is easily intercepted by the attacker. For example, in our example, client server application, we have sent a message, welcome to cyber security lecture. It is clearly captured by this tool. What we need to do? What is the solution for this? Because if you have any network, definitely through network only we are sending messages. Our internet is open channel. So attackers with this kind of sophisticated tools, they will capture. So what we have to do? What is the solution for this? Anyone? Any response? See, this welcome to cyber security lecture is actually a plain text. We should not send anyway they can capture, but we should not send their data in plain text. We have to encrypt. Okay, using this is a data security. This is a data in network security. They are intercepting our message. In order to protect our message or in order to make a confidential of our message, then we have to encrypt. So receiver side we can decrypt. So this should be encrypt. We should not send plain text. This is a very basic awareness in security. We should not send a plain text. Okay, because the attacker can intercept the messages. So we should send only the encrypted text. If you encrypted text means then the attacker can work on ciphertext only, not the plain text. Okay, so please students, this Wireshark tool is open source tool, is very easy to install. Okay, just you create one web server web client server application and you can practice this attack, simple snipping attack. Okay, so you need to know how to write a HTML form for username password, or not necessary to write web application. Here the socket programming, simply socket programming you can write, UDP protocol or TCP protocol, UDP or TCP socket programming you can write. Okay, so you can install this Wireshark tool. It is open source only, so you can practice. Then you can then only you can understand what kind of attacks and what kind of things is happening in security. So then what is the solution? Everything is, there is a solution. Okay, so for this attack, the encryption is the solution, no other go. Any doubt in this? Okay, so I am coming to this web security SQL injection attack. Just I am starting this Apache server and MySQL server. Okay. So this is the MySQL prompt. I run the MySQL server. Already I have databases. Just show databases if I show. So already I created some databases, test TB. In order to getting into the particular database, we need to use a database name. I use this test DB. Test DB. Already I created this test DB. This test DB. What are the tables already there? We can see. Okay, sorry. Then I have to use DB test. Can show tables. Okay, there is a employee table. Just I will see. Select star from. Already I created this employee table. So there are 3 rows. Okay. So but employee ID is E10010203 and password is actually WXYZ. But some manipulation I done. That's why all the values are same. Okay. As of now, you can see for Alice name Alice, the employee ID is E1001 WXYZ. Okay. Now I created a web application also. Just I will show you. I am showing the SQL injection attack to skip our login form without knowing the password. How to bypass the login form using SQL injection attack. This is a login form I created for my demo. Okay. See, first the employee ID. What is the employee ID? We have seen. So E1001. 1001. Okay. Password is WXYZ. So I am submitting. So the result is you are authenticated. The name is Alice. Salary. The name of the user and the salary is displayed. For example, simply. Now I am going to skip this authentication without knowing the password, or even without knowing the username. I don't know the username. This is the web application. I am going to bypass this authentication form. You can see. I know I already told that as symbol is the command line in MySQL. Just I am entering this A colon. Sorry, not a colon. It is single A single quotes. Then R 1 equal to 1. This always true condition for. Okay. This is the employee ID I am just entering. This is the payload I prepare for bypassing this application. Okay, without username and password, I am going to bypass this authentication. Some password, just I am entering some password, or without password also no problem. See, I am submitting, I am getting all the information from the database. So this is the dangerous attack. This is the dangerous SQL injection attack to bypass the authentication. But authentication is the very, very important mechanism for the web applications. Or you authentication is for important aspect or security goal. Okay, so once the authentication is bypassed, then that application is not having any security. Okay, so that the correct code also I have, that is without attack. That what is that? That is, prepared statements. So with the prepared statement also I have the code. Okay, so you can you just know some tools. Okay, and you create some simple applications, and you would try to use those tools to feel that attack. Just today I have shown 2 attacks. For example, this SQL injection attack without knowing the username and password. we are getting into the application, and using Wireshark tool, we are intercepting the messages communicated between two applications, for example, client server application. Okay, so these are the very basic dangerous attacks that cause for the all other attacks. Okay, so I think the given time is over. So there are many contents. I stop here. Any doubt so far? Just we discussed the basics of definition of cybersecurity. What is hacking? What are the types of hacking? And under that cybersecurity, there are subdomains: network security, software security, hardware security, and cryptography. All those things. Just I have whatever possible I have explained in this 1 hour session. Just I stop here. So any doubt or any queries? Queries are welcome. Sir, Balu sir. Students, any doubts? No response. At least can able to understand all these things.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Any queries?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, SQL injection பத்தி அது டெமோன்ஸ்ட்ரேஷன் காமிச்சீங்க. And cross site request forgery அந்த மாதிரி இன்னும் 2 டாபிக்ஸ் போட்டுருந்தீங்க. அத பத்தி சின்ன டெஃபினிஷன் மாதிரி என்ன?
Actually, that cross-site forgery attack, I have not prepared demo because of this 1 hour time. I will prepare and give you, no problem. If you can note my mail ID, and you can, if you want to know, I will send documents, and I am ready to explain in other occasions. So cross-site forgery attack. Actually, for demo, I have not prepared for that. So one example only I have prepared, okay? Because of this time constraint.
Okay, sir.
In cross-site scripting, actually, it is based on the JavaScript. For example, you are creating a website using HTML, CSS, JavaScript. No? So if your website, your software will run the JavaScript code. For example, username password. In the username password, you are going to give the particular JavaScript. If that script is running, then your application is vulnerable to cross-site scripting attack. For that, you should know the JavaScript. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Students, you can install some virtual box or VMware virtual box, in which you can install Kali Linux. Okay, so there are Metasploit. There is a vulnerable machine, Metasploit. On Metasploit, you can already programs are developed on Metasploit. Directly you can work on these attacks. For example, SQL injection attack. You can test these attacks: SQL injection attack, cross-site forgery attack, and cross-site scripting attack, command line injection attack. A lot of attacks are there. Metasploit. Okay, so if you want to work with cyber security, you install Kali Linux and understood the basic concepts. For example, if you want to become a network security engineer, network security professional, then you read very thoroughly all the network protocols. Then you learn some tools related to each attack. Then definitely you can. Particularly for placement, if you know some tools, definitely you will be getting job.
Sir.
Yes.
Sir, virtual box, VMware workstation, இதுக்கு ரெண்டுக்கும் என்ன சார் டிஃபரன்ஸ்? இதுல வந்து Kali Linux எதுல வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணா பெட்டரா இருக்கும்?
Both VMware is better, but sometimes we cannot get the product key for VMware. So virtual box is readily available in net. Both are same only, no problem. But I feel I worked with both VirtualBox and VMware. Both is working fine with in VirtualBox or VMware. You can install in Kali. You can install Kali Linux. If you get VMware, it is then better.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other queries?
Suicide hackers பத்தி கொஞ்சம் சொல்லுங்க.
Suicide hackers. Okay, so just I go to the PPT. Actually, they will not worry about anything. Sir. They want to destruct systems, other systems. If you see the definition of the suicide hackers, so individuals who aim to bring down a critical infrastructure for a cause and are not worried about facing jail terms or any other punishments. So they will do anything. So if they have enough resources and skills, computing skills, they can do anything without worrying without worrying anything. So that kind of hackers are known as suicide hacker. Script kiddie, the very basic hacker is also there. They are using hackers already developed tools, no? So using those tools, they will hack. So those are very preliminary stage of hackers are called script kiddie.
Yes, sir.
So any other doubts?
Sir, PPT share பண்ணுவீங்களா சார்?
Yeah, I will share. I will share with Balu sir, then you can get from Balu sir. I will give you my email ID, phone number also. You can ask me doubts, no problem. You can send if any materials needed. Actually, I want to suggest or advise you to concentrate any one of the subdomain, web security or network security or software security. So you can concentrate you can concentrate that alone. Then you can you will become a very good security professional.
ஏதாவது ப்ராஜெக்ட் சஜஸ்ட் பண்றதா இருந்தா என்ன சார் ப்ராஜெக்ட்
project
சைபர் செக்யூரிட்டி ரிலேட்டடா ஏதாவது ப்ராஜெக்ட்ஸ் பண்ணலாம்.
Cyber security related projects, you should know some tools. Based on the tools only, if you want to do some projects on cyber security, first you should create some application, your own application. Okay, some applications, and you should know some tools. Using those tools, you can demonstrate some of the attacks. So this kind of demonstration is actually the cyber security projects. But if you want to have a professional cyber security, then you have to do some courses. Cyber security courses are there, NASCOM courses. Okay, so those if you complete any one of the cyber security courses, that will be very add-on value for your placement, and even for very good salary for placement.
எந்த மாதிரி கோர்சஸ் சொல்றீங்க பண்ணலாம்?
Cyber security, the basic cyber security courses are there. Even NASCAM actually conducting basic cyber security courses. There are different levels. Based on the level of content and knowledge, they have some pricing. For example, 25,000, 50,000. That pricing also different based on the content information. The thing is only the tools, number of tools they used, number of concepts they are teaching. That is the different actually in cyber security courses. Any other doubts? Okay, shall I, sir, Balu sir, any faculty members is there? Okay, shall I leave? Hello, sir. Hello, any faculty member is there?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, can I leave, ma'am? So they have given 1 hour time for me. It is over.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay, sir.
students.
Okay,
If
sir.
you have any doubts, I will give my mail ID to your faculty members. Then you can send any queries. I will share this PPT to you people. So please,
Sure, sir.
Thank you, sir.
thank you very much. Again, final advice is you read any subject with very deep understanding. Okay, without that is in-depth knowledge you should have for any placement. Instead of reading long breathwise, instead of reading breathwise, you just read depth. Okay, then you will feel the each and every concepts. Okay, the importance of every concepts. Then only you can even see. I have shown one Wireshark tool. No, Wireshark tool for intercepting the messages between two parties or two client and the server. You can also write that kind of snipping tools. There are codes in Python code. There are some libraries. Using that libraries, that Python code, you can write your own snipping tool. See, you can easily try. Okay. There are books, materials for learning all those things. YouTube videos, but you have to spend more time to understand everything. So you're all which year students?
Third year, sir.
Third year. So it is a very good time to read all this, because next year you will be in placement, no? So this is the correct time to along with your curriculum syllabus. There are subjects, but along with subjects, you need to study some courses, extra courses, or some additional value added courses. If you do, then it will be better. Okay, thank you, students. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I am
Sir?
hearing.
Sir, it's
Ma'am.
Velumani ma'am from Department of CSE, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Tell me, ma'am.
Sir, this session was this session was very useful, sir, and it was very informative, and students were gathering so much of information regarding cyber security attacks, and even they had a small session of that is a demonstration regarding this SQL injection attack and all. And one of our student is ready to give the vote of thanks, sir.
Okay.
And the session is handed over to the student, and she's presenting the vote of thanks, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your valuable inputs. I call upon Kritika from third year cybersecurity to deliver the vote of thanks for this session. I wish to express my sincere gratitude to our honorable guest speaker, Dr. T. Sudhakar sir, for sparing his valuable time in his busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you, sir, for this inspiring and informative section. We had an experienced real-time demonstration sessions. We had a vast glimpse of cybersecurity and attacks. It was an encouraging and mind-opening session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Thank you for the given opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Now I hand over the session to next guest speaker, Miss RJ Deepthi, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Are you there, ma'am?
Yeah, good afternoon. So,
Ma'am?
uh, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. The session is over to you, ma'am.
Yes. So, I hope you can see my screen. So, we'll see about how cybersecurity actually gets cyber attacks and threats in mobile. So, basically, mobile, we all use mobile, right? So, basically, it's like globally, it said that 85% of the people are using mobile. Now, let's see what are they. We have to know what are the disadvantages if anyone is going to attack. Okay, so we'll go. So these are the things I'm going to cover about. So first of all, why cybersecurity is very important to be learned by students. So why you should have the knowledge of cybersecurity. And also next is what is cybersecurity and cyber attack, and what are the different types of cybersecurity. So Sudhakar sir said about network security and web security, etc. So we'll be seeing about different securities, and then we'll see how the threats are attacked to our mobile. So we'll be seeing about this and what all we can do to prevent the attack. Okay. So these are the importance of cyber security. So basically, you can use this industry. So you can cybersecurity is actually a interdisciplinary sector. So you can go into any field you want. Okay. So you can, if you want to go into AI or data science or any field you want, you can be going. And the next thing is you're doing some good. Like for example, you if there is a hacker and you're stopping it, right? And then there is no maths needed, and it's very important for your personal growth, and also you can get more money from it. So these are the factors and these are the important of learning cybersecurity. So before going into the PPT, I just want to tell all the terms and definition of these. So what is computer network? So you guys said like you are third years, right? Can I get any answers from what is computer network? Um, okay, I think if it is an interactive section, it will be more nicer. Okay, fine. So a computer network is a set of computers where you will be sharing resources. So in the form of resources, I can say data or any other resources will be shared. So this is what we call it as computer network. So there'll be like different nodes of it. Just imagine computer network as a tree, and they'll be having branches. Okay? And at every endpoint, you will be having a computer to access or to share or receive the data or resources. The next one is network traffic. So the network traffic is the amount of data that you're sharing. Okay, so the amount of data that you're sharing is called as network traffic. And I guess Sudhakar sir told you about encryption and decryption. We'll see later in this PPT. Just for now, you already know that encryption is nothing but if there is a word or there is something in your normal English language, that is your normal human language. So encryption will convert that human language into your computer language, something we can't understand, and then it will be decrypted so that the other person, that is the sender, can understand. Okay, and then cyber threats. So cyber threats are nothing but it's the cyber attack it's a all possible way of cyber attack that can be attacked by the hacker. So, so what is cybersecurity? You guys already know. It's like every aspect in any factor or any technology that we use to protect any organization or a computer's data and its employees and assets. That's what assets will be coming under your data. Okay, so data can be very confidential, so you have to protect it. So for that, we'll be using cyber security. Okay, so cyber attack. So if a cyber attack, so cyber attack or usually done by cyber criminals. So these are the people. Cyber criminals are your hackers. Okay, we already saw about what is hackers, right? So these hackers will send in different types of attacks and threats. Okay, so the main aim of this hacker or main aim of this cyber criminals will be to just to disable your computer, just to destroy your system, because or just to steal the data, because data is obviously they will be so important, just to steal the data and to disable your computers. They'll be using cyber attack. So this can be done from one computer to multiple computers or to the networks. Okay, even from one point of the computer, you can just attack all the other computers. The very common example you can take it is your virus, right? So whenever you're going to insert a pen drive, you think like twice, or you already having an app for detecting the virus. If there is a virus is detected, you just take off the pen drive, right? Okay. So these are the reasons we are using cyber security. So to protect ourselves. Okay. So we'll see these are the different types of securities. Under cyber securities, there are many securities, but we'll be seeing about these 5 and mobile security in detail. Okay. So we'll first start about our network security. So okay. So I guess okay, we'll start. So basically, network. I already told what is computer network. So computer network is just there'll be a lots of computers will be connected to each other. So that's what you'll be calling it as network. Okay, systems. So basically, these sets of technology will protect the company's data. Okay, or from the network, or when the third person is going to enter into the network. Say for example, you have a specific network of 4 computers. Okay, if the another person who are not related to that 4 persons are going to steal your data, so they'll be entering into it, so they'll be entering into your network. So to avoid that, we'll be using network security. The next one is application security. So you'll be having you're having like nowadays lots and lots of applications are coming right into use. So basically, application securities, what will happen is that, so you will be from at the top layer, you know that it's going to be whether it is um, secure or not, because you will be using lots and lots of uh, application will be you will be actually accessing your permission to access which app or not. So you should be very careful about that. So basically, what application security will do is it will just find and fix and also prevent the vulnerabilities. So what will be the vulnerabilities is that when they are doing the code for your application itself, okay, at that point of time, they have to integrate cyber security. Okay, so in past days, how they did an application is that So nowadays there are like so much applications. Okay, so in past days, how they did an application is that, so after building all the application, at last they'll check whether this application is secured or not. Okay. But nowadays, since there are lots of applications, lots of third party applications, so there'll be the basic fundamental is one of the fundamental of building an application is adding cyber security to it. Okay. The next one is Internet of Things. So what is Internet of Things? The Internet of Things are nothing but there'll be networks, right? So to these networks, there will be a range of devices that will be connected. Say, for example, the basic example, you can say anything. You can just even in your home, you can just take AC, refrigerator, or any sensors or drone, anything that's going to be connected to a network that does some function. Okay, so that's what your Internet of Things is. So not every time. So basically, not every time you will be having a threat in your own devices, like own coding. Say, for example, we saw about a network, someone else is stealing the data, and in app security, application security, we saw about vulnerability of the code itself, right? So what will happen in the IoT is that, so there will be in those devices itself, there will be a vulnerability. Okay, so in those devices itself, there will be added some malware function to operate your data. Okay, so it is the act of securing internet devices. So yeah, so I'll tell the types that it can be done. So first type is one of the first type is injection. Okay, so how you will be doing your IoT? So basically, you will be connecting with, you will be having some set of code that is doing your function. That one you will be connecting to your drone or anything else. So you'll be using Arduino board for that, right? So in that, there will be a chip, okay, so that it can collect all your data, which will end risk. Okay? So this is called IoT security. So how we are going to stop it? And the next one is cloud security. Okay, so basically, nowadays all the companies are using cloud security. So all they use, because we are all using cloud. Okay, all the organizations are using cloud because it first reason is there is more storage in cloud, obviously. Okay, and it's also cheap. Okay, compared to how you will store your normal data. Okay, so in these clouds, see, when you have, what is the main purpose of having a cloud? You will be giving data to the cloud, right? So when you give data to the cloud, you should know that you should also know how to protect your data, because mostly your data from your organizations will be so secured. Okay. So you will also have to learn how to, and the main thing is um, there will be called as an hybrid and multi-cloud infrastructure architect. So basically, what will this do is that, so it makes your cloud more flexible, and scalability will also be there, so that your cloud will be secure. Okay. So the next part is, okay. So the next is your mobile security. So the one of the basic way that you can let your security, okay, let an attack your mobile is that someone accessing it. Okay, so that is a physical attack. So basically, when I tell about mobile, I include everything, like for example, all your uh, all your tab and your smartwatches, everything will be coming under your mobile. Okay, so you just have to, if you just, since mobile is a very convenient device that you use everything for mobile. Okay, like sending emails, sending important WhatsApp messages. So in some organizations, they'll be giving you phone, like they'll be giving you a mobile instead of they'll be telling like for every access, like every data, like you will be having this phone only. And because your phone may have some other virus, okay, or some other form of attack, so that will collect the organization's data. So that will be a threat to the whole organization, right? So in those cases, that's why they'll be providing your mobile phone. So basically, if you want to stop these type of threats, that's why we'll be using mobile security. Okay. So I already told you. Yeah, the smartphones, tabs, and your laptops, and anything. So all these things will be coming under your mobile security only. So we have the most things that we do in the day is like checking, checking WhatsApp, checking Instagram, and everything. So all these will collect like lots and lots of data. Maybe some data won't be that much important to you. You may feel like, okay, it can be accessed by someone else, there is nothing in this like that. So but it can end in a very difficult situation, okay, very dangerous situation. For that, we'll be using mobile security. So let's see. So these are the different types of data that they can take. First one is stealing passwords. So if you're going to, it's not about, even when you're going to be like, say for example, even physically, if someone is going to access, someone is going to see your phone, so that will be also your attack, that will be also your a threat to you. Okay. So in cyber, they can steal your passwords, and they can see your messages, and you're taking photos, so that is also a data, and your microphone access, your contact list, and your GPS. You can and stealing emails. So basically, you can see that most of these are are the one that you are giving access to a app. Okay. So if you're going to download any application, so first thing, before doing anything, even if you're going to download WhatsApp for a basic case, so it will ask you, so whether is there a permission for me to allow camera, your microphone, and everything, like your contact list. Okay. So these are the basic things that you should allow. But in some cases, what will happen is that in some app, there will be a virus, or there will be a attack. What will happen is that it will take your data without permission. Okay. So we'll see about that. So these are the threats. So since as a student, you have to know what are the threats, mobile or security threats that can be faced. Okay. So because everyone are using mobiles nowadays. Okay. So for that reason. So the first one is your mobile ransomware, and then your malware, applications and websites, and phishing, and man in the middle, in jailbreaking and routing techniques, and device OS. Okay, we'll see about this. So the first one is your mobile ransomware. So what is this is, uh, I already told you about what is encryption, right? So basically, if you just have some particular, say in a word that you have just saved a document, okay, so what will happen is that mobile ransomware, this threat will damage that particular file. Okay, how it will damage is that it will it will just encrypt your whole word document, okay, or your whole mobile or anything. Okay, so anything that can be read in a human language, so everything over there will be encrypted. So be encrypted in the sense, so what I'm saying is that it will be converted into computer language, so which you can't understand, and also it will be very hard. So what will happen is that it will demand for a payment to decrypt the whole thing. So basically what you had, it will be encrypted and you have to pay for that to get decryption. So this is what mobile ransom is. So the next one is your malicious app and website. So you would have all heard about the word malware. Okay. So what is malware is it? It is a software. Let's just say it is a set of code. Okay. So basically it is a set of code that is being developed by developers to destroy other computers, just to destroy other computers. So the basic examples are viruses, swarms, and spyware. So basically, I told you already, right? So whenever you're going to inject your pen drive or any hardware into your computer, you'll be always conscious whether there is a virus in this or not, so that it will affect my computer. So what will happen if it attacks your computer? In the sense, your whole computer will be jammed. Okay, you can't access it anymore. So these viruses are just there's no use of it, just to destroy your computer. That's the only main of the malware. The same thing can be done in your mobile also. Okay, so how it can be done is that, so when you're going to insert some sort of hardware to your mobile. Okay, so in those time, what will happen, they will take all your data. That may happen. Or as I said before, the malware app, some malware code. So what will happen, it will just jam your phone, so that you can't use your phone next time. Okay, so this is the example, and these are the examples of your mobile malware. And the third one is phishing. So basically phishing is nothing but just uh, okay, for example, you are seeing right now, you have just imagine that right now you have a phone in your hand. Okay, and you're getting a message, and that message says that open this link to know something. Or just imagine that it says open this link to no access into this particular website. Or there is a discount of 70% into this link. Like that, if they're going to send, they'll just send some random links to your phone. So if they're going to send, obviously if it's going to be more attractive, people will just click the link without knowing what will be inside it. Okay, so the next minute, if it's going to be clicked, what will happen is that you are giving access to the you're giving your data. Yeah, you're giving your data access to the hacker. So the hacker is the one who is sending you the link. So he will not send to one person also. Basically, it will be done like in bulk. He will be sending to everyone. So whoever access it, like whoever touches the link, mostly these links will be, you can see like the links about discounts main. So you won't get any discount at all. Just for chuma, they'll be sending the link. They just want you to click the link, so that your data, all your data will be sent to the hacker. Okay. So these links I'm not talking about only SMS. I'm also talking about your email, and even in your sometimes in your social media platforms, and also other applications. It is advised to not download many this gaming applications, and some applications which is not popular. Okay, whatever applications that are not popular, so it is advised like not to download them. Okay? Because you'll never know what they get access to. And the next type of threat that you will get in your mobile is man in the middle. So it's called man in the middle because a hacker will be there. So say, just for example, just say you're just taking your mobile and sending an important message in your WhatsApp. Okay, say it's very important message. Say it's your bank credentials. Okay, so if you're going to send that, there will be, if there is a man in the middle, he's going to get access for those data. Okay, so this can be done. That is, he can get access for the data. That is, he can see the data. Or sometimes what will happen, say for example, if you're sending a message, some message like that you're going to come tomorrow, okay, in any app, any not secured app, that you're going to come tomorrow, okay, that's what you're going to send. But what will happen is that the hacker in the middle can literally modify the data. That is, he can literally modify the text, and he'll be sending it like, yeah, I'll be coming today. Okay, so basically what I'm saying is that he can modify all the datas. Okay, this is an example for text data. So he can modify all the photo data or anything he can do to send to your another person. Okay, so mainly for texting, it will be very important if you see what application you are using. Okay, so the next one is, okay, so the next one is your device and your OS. So what is your device and your OS is that, okay, if you know that now you know that your applications are so good, okay, like it is so secured, like you can send messages and everything. So what about your OS and your device? I'm talking about the phone that you're using or the mobile that you're using, and the OS that it has. What if at the lower levels there will be a software? So basically all OS will be in a software, right? So what if they contain a vulnerability? Okay, so how can you protect it? So, or what if I spoke about IoT security, right? So in IoT securities, there only this device will come. So your device and your, so the topic is your device and your OS, right? So if what if the phone itself, that is your device itself, has some vulnerability to access your data to someone, to the attacker or the hacker? Okay, so these are the types of threats. And this one, so advanced jailbreaking and routing techniques. So basically what is jailbreaking and routing techniques is that, so some people, okay, for just for to do, okay, what they will do is that they'll just take the phone and they'll just change the OS. Okay, say for example, if they have iOS, and they'll just change that into your Android. Okay, if they have Android and if they think that I want iOS in my Android, they'll be changing it. Okay, so that's you're there is a particular, for this particular device there is a OS that they have already given. Okay, so that one, if you're going to change into another OS, so the basic example is from Android to your iOS. Okay, so what will happen is that at that time, due to the change, your phone will have access. Basically, it will be more vulnerable. Okay, at that point when you change the OS in your phone. Okay, so that's what you call it as jailbreaking. So jailbreaking is like you change into some OS. So at that point, your phone will be at the most vulnerable state. It even if you try it on your own, I mean, don't try it. But if you try it, it will already ask you. So this is not safe. Are you okay to go with it? Okay, so it will already ask you. Okay, so these. So the main reason is that you should just avoid doing this, and this is a type of threat. Okay, due to your jailbreak, you'll be getting your device so vulnerable that you can't, that you'll give root access to. If you give root access, all your data will be transformed. Okay, Okay, next one is we'll talk about the solutions. Basically, how you're going to change this. So the first one is before going into any confidential data, if before and you know transforming any confidential data, a full view of security checks will be important. Okay, and the next one is full flexibility and scalability. Okay, so whatever what you should know that your mobile will have this particular risk. Okay, so and the next one is privacy protection. After everything that you have checked, so you will be giving a privacy protection. Okay, so we'll see in detail how what all we can do to protect our own device. Okay, so the first one is your GPS will be mostly, if your GPS is on in your phone, so anyone can track you, right? So that is the data that you're giving access to people. Okay, so you should only on or off your data whenever you want to. Okay, and the next one is, this is main thing, like you have to update your software. So you can see in some organization what they will do is that they'll make you update the software. So while they'll make you update the software is that the old software or the downgraded version will have some debug. So in those debug you can access to the confidential data. So for this that case you have to always update your software to the recent version. Okay, and the next one is obviously we are all having password and pin, and to avoid autofill passwords. So yeah, it is very easy to have this autofill passwords, but when anyone access, or even if the cyber threat happens, it is very easy to just autofill your passwords and go into your part. Okay, and the next one is auto lock enable. So whenever your phone is there, it will be like automatically locked within few seconds. And I already talked about this. Don't jailbreak and use. So you shouldn't change the OS for your particular device and use it. And next one is network traffic. So we already saw about your encryption. So there'll be so what will happen? You will be having a plain text. So that will be changed into some text using an algorithm, and then what happened at the receiver end, again the text will be changed into the plain text that however you can read it. Okay, you can see it in your WhatsApp encrypted, these messages are encrypted, like that they'll come when you start a chat. And the next one is, whatever you're going to send, you should send it in SSL. That is it is very important because you will be having different channels. Say for example, I already told you, you will be having different apps for sending messages, but you should see what is the uh, most secure way of sending the messages, and then the next part is always turn on VPN. Okay, VPN is your virtual private network. So basically when you turn on it, so only it is for your privacy. Okay, so only some set of people that's what you have given access to will be having access to those datas, not all the part. So always turning on your VPN in your phone is very advisable. Okay, and knowing all the protocols and rules, obviously. And the next one is barrier security. So barrier security is to prevent, how to prevent if you have a phone, and how to prevent when another person is hacking it, how will you prevent it, okay, from unauthorized sources. So what the main thing is your firewalls. Okay, so firewall will act as a wall between you and the attackers, and whenever it finds something suspicious, it will stop over it. So that's the main part of your firewalls. Okay, and intrusive detection and prevention is the same way. But what will happen? Interest of detection and prevention will be after your firewall. It's like a second check for your hackers to hack you. And okay, so these are the 5 common misconception. So your, they say your EMM and your MDM. So these EMM and your MD, they are your they'll just manage your applications and the features of the applications that are there in your mobile. Okay, so people will think that if you have that, it can protect me, or if you're going to secure it in your inside your hidden folder or something, it will protect me from hacking. No, these are like very false misconception. And also but why hacking? What if someone hacks my phone? I don't care because there is no important data. No, everything is actually important data to your hacker. Okay, and your mobile, you may have your mobile antivirus system and that will protect. Even sometimes they can have a more developed virus that can affect you, that can attack you, that can attack you. And the next one is people say that iPhones will be like that, it has immune to threats. So yeah, obviously some threats it may have, but mostly the threats are now, as the technology are developing, the hackers are also developing, right? So these are the things that you have to follow in order to keep your mobile secure. Thank you.